All right, so we want to just go in the field, and we just talked about the 4 main objections or obstacles that you guys get all the time. Is going to be the market adjustment, the pricing, it's going to be the inventory, or it's going to be, you know, I don't have a lot of time, I don't want to waste time, or it's going to be the trade-in situation. So I want to kind of hit the money thing that we talked about before. So if you are going to make the appointment or you start the follow-up process, and a prospect basically says to you, are you charging over sticker, or is there a market adjustment? I've already shared with you 100% to tell them what it is and then how to handle that. So I just wanted to say it again right here. If I'm talking to Malik. Malik, actually, yes, there is a market adjustment. The market adjustment is going to be on the Camry about $4,995. But just so you understand, this is not something that's just Toyota Bowie. This is all of the Toyota dealerships and pretty much dealerships in our region and around the country are doing. This has to do with the chip shortage, which has caused a massive inventory deficiency. To give you an example, Malik, we normally have over 500 new vehicles in stock. We literally have 15, and it's a Monday and the first day of the month, so we might be down to like 5 by the end of today. So because of that, there is absolutely a market adjustment, but I want to make sure that you understand we want to give you even more value. So let me share with you some of the things that we do to go above and beyond, because Malik, the price that you receive elsewhere needs to be weighed against the value you receive here at Toyota Bowie. And this is where you're able to justify with value the other points. Now, I don't know if you guys do this, but I'll give you Norm Reeves Honda, for example, is one of the top Honda dealerships in the world out of California. They have a market adjustment, but they add product. They add like a paint sealant, and they add an alarm and things like that. Is there any addendum adds? You guys don't have anything on there. So if you guys don't have anything tangible to add, which is okay, it's okay. If you don't have anything tangible to add, then you need to give all the perceived value. There's a ton of things that you guys do just by being a Toyota dealership or a Kia dealership that you should pack in. So let's go over some of the value packages, Bobby or DG3. So you guys have obviously loaner cars, shuttles, things like that, right? What other value points do you guys give your prospects and your clients?
With that being said, we've created an amazing online value package for our
Get closer, you can hear it.
You mentioned pricing. We have what's called a fair, reliable pricing package, which means that you will have confidence in the pricing that we give you over and over again. In other words, if you were to come back and try to get another pricing, it's going to be the same structured pricing that we don't have to worry about the pricing. We also have VIP packages for all of our customers. You mentioned that you have military. You're in the military. There's a lot of military in this community. We have military special pricing. We also have ride and drive pricing. We have pricing for our local, federal, and state government employees. If you put yourself through college, we have special pricing and programs for that. Also, in addition and above and beyond all of that, we have something called repeat and referral customers. We have, if you bought from us before, we feel that you were loyal to us and you should get a better price. But in addition to that, if you refer somebody to them, they're going to get a very confident pricing, which is going to go alongside our RRR fair and reliable pricing as well.
Perfect. Sean, what about you? What would you say on the pricing? So the question is, if somebody asks if we have, if we're going over sticker, right? And so how do you justify that?
Well, I think the other piece of that is just the customer experience. So whether you want to come into our dealership or do a remote delivery, we're happy to take the car for you to test drive at your home or office and complete the entire deal online.
So again, back here for a second. So folks, the only thing that you can do, there's no magic bean. I want to be clear with this. You know, it's not pretty, it's not sexy that people are paying $5,000 over sticker. There's no ninja unicorn dust that's gonna make people, oh my God, that's perfect, 5 G's over sticker, I can do 8 G's over sticker, let's go. People are not gonna think that. So what you've gotta do is just be very transparent, very honest, but build value. Explain what you are willing to do, what is different and better about this organization. There's nothing else you can do besides that except explain and build value. That's the strategy, how to handle the pricing. The only other thing that I would say to it is, again, make sure that you are articulating to these people that they're not the only ones that are paying this pricing. This is a standard process because nobody wants to be the person that pays stupid tax. Nobody wants to be the person that's getting, stuck with the bill or stuck with, something that nobody else is. That's part of what people are looking for is to make sure that they're not getting ripped off, that they're not paying more than what other people are paying, right or wrong. So as long as you're able to articulate, look, this is the standard pricing and here's why, if you explain it, justify it, and build value, that's the best that you could do. Next, for inventory, let's go to the inventory thing. The question is, do you have that vehicle in stock? Here's what I would turn around and say is, if you have it in stock, this is when you could feel the Holy Ghost. You're like, I've got great news. Yes, that vehicle is definitely available. And to your point, if you have a vehicle now, this is almost what it's all about. It's about availability. If you've got that vehicle, it is a lot easier to justify that market, pricing, over, right? It's harder when you don't even have a car in stock and you're charging 5 G's over sticker for it. But if you've got that vehicle in stock, it is a lot easier, right? So again, it's imperative for you to know your inventory or know what's going to be coming inbound. A little side tip that a lot of my stores do too is what you should be able to do is if you have access to what vehicles might be coming in, deals that you're working even before those deals are closed or funded, if you let your other people know, your point guards especially, maybe your coordinators, they need to learn a little bit more first, but your salespeople especially, because why? If they're talking to other prospects, if they know that there might be a deal or might be a trade-in coming through. I've seen this all the time, like right now, all over the country, salespeople and BDC reps that understand and have access to the allocation. We talked about this at Digital Dealer. At Digital Dealer, a dealer principal, her name is Beth Watson from Waynesboro, CDJR, and Chevy. She even said that they create like a incoming sheet. And they're pre-selling and talking to their prospects about stuff they don't even have in ground yet, stuff that they're working. And when they get a commitment on it, I've actually seen it where they're able to refine the deal or put a deal together they might not have put the deal together for because they have the trade-in already pre-sold. Does this make sense? So now, let me get into the word track. So I would basically say, at all possible, I would have access to inventory because if it is in stock, this is the hallelujah time because the vast majority of success right now is do you have the vehicle or not. Now, let's go into the reality. If the vehicle is not in stock, I don't want you to apologize and say something like, I'm sorry, but we don't have it, but I would just be very, very professional and say that vehicle is not currently in inventory, but don't worry, okay? Because of the way that the economy is right now with this massive, chip shortage and this inventory deficiency, most vehicles are not just sitting on dealerships' lots like they used to be. As a matter of fact, we used to have 500 vehicles in stock. New, we got 15, but we're still selling cars. How are we doing it? By having conversations like this with our clients and with our potential clients, we're finding what you want and what you need. And what we're either able to do is go find that vehicle, because we're a franchise dealership, we could theoretically, whether you can or not, theoretically do a locate. If not, there's a lot of factory orders. What we're able to do is order a vehicle, or we could tell you what's coming into our allocation and pre-sell that to you. So again, there's a difference of in allocation pre-sell versus a straight factory order versus a dealer locate. I would also say that we have other options. We've got demo cars, we've got demonstrators. We also have pre-owned. Now you guys do CPOs here, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we have CPOs. CPOs are certified pre-owned. So just so you know, sometimes these programs, and I think Toyota, I'm not sure about Kia, stepped up on the CPOs, their package, like the pricing on it, like the value in it is phenomenal, in there. So what you would do is be able to share that there's a myriad of different options, but what you want to do is take this time right now to be able to identify from that prospect what are their wants, their wishes, and their expectations. Based on that information, you could give them suggestions on what they need to do, what they could do to be able to achieve their goals. Does that make sense to everybody, right? So I'm gonna repeat that again for here. I'm leaving this up for you guys, that's why. Because this is not in broad demand, this is all just literally from you guys. So if somebody says, like, look, I don't wanna come in because you don't have the vehicle in stock, I'm gonna say, well, Malik, I could appreciate that we don't have it in stock, but nobody's got vehicles in stock right now. There's a global pandemic. The days of going to the dealership and browsing inventory are over. I mean, again, the way that this works, this is more like Amazon than it is like traditional car dealerships. What I need to do is be able to exactly identify what your wants, needs, expectations are, and then from there, I could give you different options. Either, again, we could figure out a new vehicle that we do have in stock, what might fit your needs perfectly, or if we have to do a locate, find out what's in transit, or do a factory order, or if you need something more immediate, there might be other options. First of all, we don't just sell Toyotas. We don't just sell Kias. How many total new car franchises in the group? 4. So again, that's a last resort, but I'm sure everybody here would love to sell a new Toyota or a new Kia if possible. But if it was the choice of losing this prospect to go to somebody else or giving it to one of your sister stores, what do you think the owner's gonna say? Give it to the sister store. So what I'm saying is that you have options. You know, like Remy Ma says, exercise those shits. You know what I mean? You've got options. Don't just tell somebody one thing and that's it. Explain the different options that are there, and something is going to be able to kind of trigger. Remember, guys, you are not the weird one. You're not the only Toyota Kia dealership that has an inventory crisis. But I want to hear from the managers. Besides what I've said, what would you guys say for the inventory situation? Do you like what I said?
No, it's all good with the, just one exception on the factory orders. We can't do those.
Okay.
That's just the way Toyota and Kia are. But I will say this, that the management team has made a conscious effort for November to buy a lot of late model Kias and Toyotas, knowing that when a customer comes in, there's not a new car available to test drive, that we will have a pre-owned option here. So either you can land your prospect on the pre-owned car, or if they still want a new car coming in, they can test drive the pre-owned one and then go ahead and we can pre-sell one of the ones coming in. So that's one of the things to look for in November.
Bobby, you have anything to add on that?
No.
So you agree with us, right? Okay, one thing I would also say is this. You've got to be careful to not diss the new cars with what I'm about to say, but not dissing a new car doesn't mean don't provide reasons and value and justifications for used cars. Can anybody go around and explain why a used car might be as good or better than a new car? Anybody?
It's hard to be upside down to trade.
You mentioned the CPO program. I just sold
Go near some. Get them on the camera.
I just sold a 2019 Stinger with 15,000 miles on it. We certified it for the customer. She's extremely happy. The price point was outstanding, and she was able to get from 15,000 to 100,000 miles on the powertrain. The engine, the transmission, the front, and the rear.
What was the bumper to bumper in this?
And the bumper to bumper is still 5 and 60, but on the roadside assistance, that went to 100,000 miles as well.
So if I may, here's a couple things I would say is this. A couple things that are true. And I would only do this if I knew that a new car sale was absolutely not possible, because I don't want to try to sell somebody off of something unless I had no other choice. But let's just say that like they were going to bounce, or I need to sell them on a used car situation. Couple things right off the bat. Cars depreciate. You understand that, right? Even if it's a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, they depreciate, which means that when they buy the car today, right, within, let's say 3 years, that's what the first big residual is. Do you know approximately how much the car is lost? Let's just give you a number. So if the vehicle is a $30,000 vehicle, don't say anything yet. If the vehicle is a $30,000 vehicle, they buy it today. How much do you think that vehicle, I know the economy's a little bit crazy with the COVID stuff, the used car prices are out the roof, but before this craziness happened, approximately how much do you think that car is worth in 3 years? Take a guess. 15, 18, you guys are spot on close. It depends what the residual is, but if it's a 50% residual, that means that a $30,000 car is only worth 15 grand in 3 years. That is insane, right or wrong? So if somebody's purchasing a used vehicle, that person that bought the new version of that vehicle took the depreciation hit. So that's one thing. You're gonna be able to get potentially a late model vehicle that's going to be cheaper, obviously, than what a brand new one is. Because if a brand new one's going 5 G's over sticker, you know what I mean? If this one was even just at sticker, you're still saving 5 G's on this vehicle. Does this make sense? Okay, the next thing also is that you could still, because one of the reasons why people say that they want to have a new car over a used car is because of the warranty, because of the guarantee, because of the roadside assistance and those typical things. But with Toyota and I think Kia as well, they have certified pre-owned programs that give coverage over, the normal new car warranty. Does that make sense? Okay, and then here's the big reason why. Because it's available. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have a choice. Now, what does that mean, Sean? I'm not being sarcastic. Chances are that if somebody wants to buy a car, they either have a lease end or they have a trade-in. True or false?
True.
Facts. NADA says that 75% of all car deals involve some type of trade-in or lease termination. 75%. Why do we care, Sean? Why are you telling me this? Because if somebody wants to buy a car, the longer they wait, what happens to the trade?
Trump is at supposedly.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
again, I would use common sense and say, and here's what I would say is, listen, if you want to purchase a vehicle, I understand that, but by you waiting, you're hoping that the market adjusts. But think about this. Hope is not a great strategy. Just like GoFundMe is not a great strategy for insurance. Don't tell the prospect that. I'm telling you that as a trainer. It's like a little inside joke there. But a GoFundMe is not a good insurance policy. Neither is hope. Hope is not a good policy when you're trying to conduct business. So all I do know is this, is that if the market gets worse before it gets better, it's not a good thing for you, one. Second is potentially your used car might not be worth as much in 3 months or 6 months as it is today because it's a depreciating asset. This is common sense stuff, agree? Okay, and right now, you are getting good prices for your used cars. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to sell people on why now is the right time. First of all, if you've got a trade-in, this is the absolute best time to trade in. You're gonna get top dollar for your trade. Reason. Second is, again, if you've got a depreciating asset, your trade-in, the longer that you wait, the less that vehicle is worth, okay? And because we've got these vehicles in stock, it might not be the first choice that you have, but it is the absolute best choice based on your wants, wishes, and expectations. Any questions on that? Okay, let's move to the time. We're up to the time one, right? So if somebody says, if I go to close the appointment and they say, listen, I don't have enough time, or I don't have time to go in, I'm gonna jump in, and as long as the desk's okay with it, it's without even blinking, not a problem. We could do most of this through the phone and internet and set up what's called an expedited delivery process, or Malik, if you want, we could do all of this over the phone and internet and have the vehicle delivered free of charge to your home or office. How does that sound? So for me, I'm eliminating the objection, okay? I don't know if they're saying that they don't have enough time because they want to get me off the phone, or they're not happy with what I'm saying, or they're really busy. Because if they're really busy, that's the one thing that we absolutely could help on and make their lives much easier. Because if there's a new car shortage, if used cars and new car prices are off the roof, then damn sure there's one thing that we can control, is not wasting people's time and making it more convenient, right or wrong? So what we've got to do is say to people something this simple. Listen, again, I don't know what your expectations were, but we could make this the most convenient experience you've ever had. So we have a couple different options. Either A, we could do most of this over the phone and internet, and then schedule a what's called an expedited delivery process, which means that you come in, do a final inspection of the vehicle, and we'll have you in and out of finance as quickly as possible. Or if you're even busier than that and you don't want to step in, we could do this almost like, Amazon, where we could do all of this over the phone and internet and actually deliver the vehicle free of charge to your home or office. So Malik, I assure you, time is not going to be an issue. Does this make sense to everybody? Okay, Bobby, do you have anything you could add addition to that as far as if somebody says, I'm busy? I can't think of anything other than that.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
I mean, we've used that recently. We use that as far as that time. We make it convenient for you.
DG3, what about you? You have anything for if somebody says they're too busy, they don't want to waste time coming in?
I mean, we can process the entire thing remotely right now.
Yeah,
We
so
can go right now.
So again, what this does is when you literally take out an entire objection, right? Then it's either we've overcame that objection, or we've uncovered that really wasn't a real objection. It was just basically, you know, like I'm just looking type thing. What the hell does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's just a surface objection. Now, you know, because if I've uncovered that and they're like, they're still like, I don't want to come in, then I might just stand them up and say, so then it really isn't the time thing, because like, as you just noticed, for what I just said, the time's not going to be an issue. We won't waste your time at all. So if that's not it, then what is it? And it's okay to ask people that. As long as you don't sound too aggressive, just be direct and be very professional and say, look, you know, if it's not that, tell me what else is it? Is it the availability? Is it the pricing? This is called probing. Probe and probe by asking questions. And I'm going to turn this over to you in a second, but there's actually a style of selling called the Socratic selling method. This is Socrates. Okay, he would always question everything. Like, why is this? Why is this? Know thyself, blah, blah, blah. So there's something called the Socratic selling method. That is selling by asking questions. The more questions that you ask, the more qualifying that you do, the clearer the picture is of what that person wants, needs, and more importantly, the picture is clear of what you need to present to be able to make that happen. You were going to say something?
No, I was going to say that goes back to when we finally get to the point, you know, what you know, have you done an internet purchase request before? Where now can turn it around and ask me, how have you handled in the past your time when purchasing such a big item? So there's several ways. I think that would be a great turnaround as well too. Asking them, your time is very important to us. So in the past and when you made large purchases, how have you done it?
I love it. Okay, good. So you're turning over, asking them the question. This is what you said about LA, turning the questions, you know, instead of just answering directly, you could turn that into another question to get further qualification at. Okay, is there anybody else that has anything they could add to the time section? Because I think that's an easy one to me. You shouldn't really lose an opportunity over time because we have so many different things to go to. Managers agree, right?
Yes.
All right, so then let's go into, what did he say? So the last one was, so we talked about spouse. That was the other one, right? Trade value, sorry, trade value, good. Okay, so we're gonna go to the trade. So if I go to make the appointment with Malik and he's like, yeah, no, I was expecting more for my trade, okay? Here's what I'm gonna say. Very easily, Malik, as I was mentioning before, this is just what's called a trade estimate, okay? This is a sight unseen appraisal. If you come in and meet with our management team, if we're able to put eyes on the vehicle, we might be able to go more than that. But again, that's like if you called up, and I use this analogy all the time. It's like if you called up a jeweler and said, look, I got a 1 carat diamond, how much is it worth? After they stop laughing, right? They're gonna say, listen, is that diamond separate from the setting? Well, why? Well, because there's different imperfections, there's different clarities, there's different things that go into appraising a diamond. Does that make sense, everybody? So again, I've actually used that diamond analogy with people and say, look, I wanted to give you a range, a close to accurate figure because you asked for one. But to be fair, I need to be able to see the vehicle. We have certified appraisers. That's their whole job, to appraise the vehicle and add as much money as they possibly can. And here, watch this. This is called the desperate clause. Sound a little desperate. Watch how I change my tone and inflection. Malik, I gotta tell you right now, we actually need your cars. I am not exaggerating, my friend. We normally have 500 plus new cars in stock. I got 15. I'm not exaggerating. There is a global pandemic and a chip crisis, which is causing us to have low inventory. So every franchise dealer in the country is suffering the same thing I am. It's not just me. And the way that we're surviving is by becoming used car dealers. So look, I want to buy your car. I need to buy your car. But I also want to be fair and respectful and not lie to you. So that's the minimum you could expect. You can only go up from here. I'm not going to go down. So if you were looking for more for that trade, I'll tell you this right now. Now is the best time to come in because you are in power. You are in control because we need inventory. And if the vehicle is in the condition that you say it's in, it's almost probable that they're gonna go above and beyond book value because we need that vehicle. Does that make sense, Mr. Customer? So if you talk to them respectfully, sincerely, and tell them the truth, and think about that. They're trying to come in because, man, they're hoping they're gonna get more for their trade than it's worth. And the reality is this, Sean, you're a senior executive, true or false on him. You are a corporate executive for the company. If they've got a car that's an extra clean, it's a diamond, no smoke or whatever, and it's a good vehicle, isn't it the used car manager or the senior manager's ability to put more than just book value on the car?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, and then also, because if they're coming in for what? For a car to buy, whether they're buying a new car or a used car, depending on what that deal is, there's gross in that deal, so they might on paper over a lot for the trade. Even if they're not really giving it towards the deal, they're just giving the perceived value, that could also happen. Do you see what I'm saying? So it is imperative that you guys are selling the prospects legitimately, not lying to them, the truth. Look, because of this economic crisis, we sincerely need your used car, especially how awesome you described it. If that's the case, I'm confident that our team will go above and beyond what basic book value is on that car. Now, if they come in and if that vehicle is a good quality vehicle, they're gonna put that deal together. You heard what your desk said before in the other section about the addendum. If they're willing to go down 5 G's on a market adjustment, I'm sure they're willing to go up a little bit on the vehicle to be able to put a deal together. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so inventory, and trade-ins should be simple. You know what I mean? Let them know that, look, you have a unique vehicle. We need to be able to see it. Well, why can't you tell me what the price is out the door? Because we want to be able, when you come here, to honor that price. And if we quote you a price and something is not disclosed, not on purpose, but you didn't notice something, or we didn't notice something, or know something, I don't want you to be upset with us. I don't want you to waste your time. So what we do is try to give you a range over the internet. If you are interested to come in, we're gonna put all deals, possible together if they make sense. For the desk, do you have anything additional for the trade-in? And Sean, you were only there for part of it. What I'm saying on the trade-in thing is really simple, is get them to understand that that is just the price that we're quoting on the internet. However, upon inspection from one of our certified appraisers, we might be able to go above and beyond that, but for above and beyond, we need you here with that vehicle. Any pushback or any additions to that?
The only thing I would say is don't get in your head it's got to be a Toyota or a Kia product. Any car.
Yes.
And I don't care if it's got 150,000 miles on it and you think it's a wholesale piece. We have so many different outlets right now we can sell cars to, so it can still be a benefit to the store. It doesn't matter what it is. So just any car.
Can you be specific? Let me just share something with you. And I think it was you that we talked about this last week, is that even if a customer, because customers know that this is, we have a term, this is jargon. This is not to the public, this is internal. A sled. A sled means like a car that's like old, it's really not worth much. Like that's what I call it in New Jersey, it's a sled. It means it's a car, it's probably $100. I know for a fact, and then Sean's gonna say this too, that you might turn around and put like $100 in a car and that customer feels that you're absolutely right. Like, damn, shit, I would only put $25 on that car or $50 on that car, but guess what? They could wholesale that car right now for a G? No, for a G or $1,200, whatever. Didn't you say that you did that recently too?
Yeah, we many times. I mean, $100, $200 for a car, and then it's $1,000 or $1,500. Crazy money you would never
You
pay
would
for it.
never think. So again, it's really important. So no, thank you for clearing that up 100%. So we just went through all 4 of those scenarios about, again, the market adjustment pricing, about the inventory deficiency, about the trade-in, and then what was the other one?
Speaking to my wife.
No, spouse. Okay. No, there was another one we did instead of that. Time. We didn't have a lot of time. So Sean, you weren't in here for the time one. Is there anything you want to add because you brought that up? Because for us, and everybody agreed with this, it was time is not an issue because either we could do most or all of this over the phone and internet and set up what's called an expedited delivery process, or we could do all of this over the phone and internet and deliver the vehicle free of charge to your home or office. So time or convenience shouldn't be an issue ever. Do you have anything else to add on the time? If they said, I'm kind of busy, I don't want to waste time.
Before the whole remote delivery, there was always the case of, hey, Mr. Customer, certainly understand time is very important to you. It sounds like you're a pretty busy person. Is that correct? Yes. Great. So the important thing is that by making an appointment with us, we can make the most value of your time while you're here. That way we're set up, we're prepared for you when you come in. There's no hunting to get the car, although there's not really hunting to get the car right now. But that's what it was a couple years ago.
No, Sean is absolutely right. And to add on that, guys, you know, just I'm going to build on where he was going with that too, is that think about this. If you talk to somebody and you say to them, look, you know that there's an inventory crisis because somebody says, yeah, I've been to this dealership or I can't find this vehicle anywhere. Say that, look, I mean, it's kind of crazy because there's way more people, there's way more demand than there is supply right now. True or false, everybody? True. Okay, so if there's more demand than supply, and there are people that are coming in because they're trying, they're hoping, looking for their car, do you want to just show up without an appointment and have to wait for all the people in the showroom? Or do you want to not have an appointment and hope that it's not busy and you're just wasting all your time? So what Sean is saying is that by making this appointment, not only will it streamline the time that you are here, you'll be able to have an allocated time so you're not wasting your time at all. So I love what he said about going in and kind of justifying why you're actually, you know, going to schedule the appointment, because by scheduling the appointment, you will be actually saving the most amount of time humanly possible. So you won't be just at the mercy of whoever's here. Like I hate when I go to the freaking Apple store and the little guy on the iPad, you know, and I just got to wait randomly. I wish I had an appointment instead of just walking in and waiting till somebody could see me. Make sense? All right, cool. Stop.